What's going on, guys? Today I want to talk about the Polaroid SX70 TELE lens, which is a 1.5 lens, turning a 116 millimeter into about 174 millimeters. It basically is great for situations where you need more of a reach. For example, if you happen to be on a rooftop and you want to get a certain angle of a shot or you want to get it framed a certain way really tight, and you don't want to get too close because obviously you'll fall off the roof. This is what this lens is for. Another example is if you're shooting sports, which I don't think anybody really shoots sports with Polaroid SX70s, but let's just say if you are shooting sports and you want to get more reach without getting basically in the game, this is the perfect accessory to add to your Polaroid SX70. It's great for portraits. It's good for headshots. It's good for detailed things, but I wouldn't recommend focusing to your minimum closest focus when it comes to this because you could get some distortion. As you can see, the lens is pretty round, sort of spherical. So if you get close, you sort of get this sort of bowing effect, which I haven't gotten, but I've heard of other people getting those sort of results. It's sort of good for those sort of situations. Rooftops, if you want to get a certain frame. It's basically good if you want to get more of a reach when you're in a spot where you can't get reach. You just sort of throw this on and it works great. It's good for architecture, landscape, portraits. It's pretty much all good around lens. So those are the positives. The negative is you do lose a tad bit of clarity, but when it comes to shooting Polaroid, you're not shooting to get the sharpest results. You're not shooting to get the best clarity. That's not what Polaroid is about. Polaroid is about imperfection, being perfect. So yeah, you lose a little bit of clarity, and I'll show an example. A good thing is you do gain a bit of depth of field. I've noticed. I took two shots back to back in the same exact locations. I stood in the same location, and I had my daughter pose, and she stood in the same location. I shot it once without it, shot it once with it, and I do notice that there is a difference in the depth of field. The bokeh looks a lot nicer when using this lens, and the sort of softness that the lens gives, the little bit of clarity that it takes away, is nice for portraits. So it's a big plus for me. It might not be good for everybody else, but I like that you lose just a tad bit of clarity. It's just a small amount. It's nothing serious. You can see here in the images. So to take off to put on the lens, you have to make sure the Polaroid logo here where it says SX70 TELE is facing upwards. So you just pinch these things here. You pinch it, put it in, apply pressure to the left side, apply pressure to the right. You'll hear two clicks, and there it goes. And then to take it off is pretty much the same way. You just pinch the sides here. There's one on each side. Pinch both, take it off. It's that simple. The lens works for all folding models, so it will work for an SX70 tan version like I have here. It works on a sonar. I'll show you how that looks like now. So just to show you guys, it does work on a sonar. And the autofocus does work also with the sonar with this attached because it goes by distance. So that's how it looks like with the sonar model. It also works with the SLR680 and any other SX70 model that they have out there, pretty much. Now, one thing you should know, and I think this is pretty much common sense, but I'll throw it out there anyway. You could not close the camera, obviously, when the TELE lens is attached, because it's a big front element, it's not going to allow you to close it. If you close it, you probably end up either scratching the lens or breaking the body in some way. So always remember to take it off before closing it. The lens comes in this cool pouch. Obviously, these lenses are not being produced anymore, these tele lenses. So if you were to find it, you'll probably have to find one on eBay, so some sort of secondhand market. I got mine from somebody at Brooklyn Film Camera in New York City that was selling his because he was sort of like clearing out stuff he wasn't using. This specific model, for some reason, this pouch, it has some sort of deterioration inside, so it's sort of flaking. So what I do is I just put it in like a little glasses case before I put it inside, because I really don't want to get rid of this. This is like sort of historical, since they're not gonna make it anymore, that I know of. Yeah, so that pretty much wraps up my review on this tele lens. I definitely recommend it. It ranges at this point anywhere from $70 to about $150. And most of them don't come in great shape because, I mean, you get really lucky if you find one in good shape. Mine has a few scuffs, but don't let that deter you from purchasing one. Mine has a few, like, it has a bunch of dust, which is not really a big deal. It has scuffs on the exterior plastic. Not necessarily the lens part, but even if it did, it really wouldn't take away from the image. If anything, it might even add some character to it. It does allow you to shoot and focus and stuff. So yeah, I mean, if you guys have any questions, feel free to ask. Thanks for watching. Peace.